Episode 739.
Samsara, what do you think you're doing?
The members of Jaya dynasty were getting frustrated, but they weren't about to lose their heads like Samsara and start a fight outright. If both sides end up crippled, won't that just let someone else swoop in and take the spoils? Everyone came out today for bossing, not for a PK. The boss? Right. Where did the boss go? At that thought, the Jia dynasty members immediately scanned Blue Brook Guild's area for the boss. Blue Creek Guild was having a rough day, couldn't fight back against the boss, got bullied by Samsara, and when they teamed up, they still took heavy losses, with no one on their side. The Samsara Guild suddenly lunged at the Jia dynasty side, while the boss kept rampaging through the Blue Creek Guild's ranks. In the end, someone did manage to lure it away. But this diversion, in the eyes of other guilds, didn't sit right at all, especially for the Jia dynasty who had been biding their time, scheming for that boss. Now when he looked over, what a sight! The boss had already run that far, and the ones who had pulled it away were 3 players with the Blue Brook Guild title overhead.
The boss has already been stolen. What are you still making a fuss about here?
The Jia dynasty leader roared at Samsara's people.
Today, Samsara isn't here for the boss. We're here for our pride.
Samsara, however, responded with a proud defiance, showing no signs of backing down. The members of Jaya dynasty were left spitting blood. Today's Samsara had none of the rationality expected of a club guild. It was a classic case of a scholar meeting a soldier. Reason had no place here.
Fine. Go ahead and prove your point. Go fight Blue Brook Guild. Don't mess with me here. We've got real work to do.
The Jia dynasty team leader called out.
Don't think we don't know what your Jia dynasty is really up to.
The Samsara member called out, and hearing those words, the Ji dynasty couldn't help but feel a twinge of guilt. Samsara immediately cried out for blood once Blue Brook Guild's dirty laundry was aired. The Jia dynasty, who should have been united with Samsara, sat tight and waited for Samsara and Blue Creek Pavilion to beat each other bloody. Then, out of nowhere, they waltzed in with a grin to remind everyone they still existed. But now, Samsara completely ignored them and attacked anyway.
You really think the Jia dynasty is afraid of you?
The Jia dynasty side, having their tail twisted like that by Samsara, was now burning with humiliation and rage. They hadn't wanted to start a pointless fight with Samsara, but now they couldn't hold back any longer. With a single command, they clashed with Samsara in a full-on brawl.
Fine. Couldn't settle it in the arena, so we'll settle it here and now.
The players of Samsara showed no fear, their killing spree surging like a tidal wave. The other guilds were left staring wide-eyed at each other, utterly baffled by Samsara's madcap antics. Fighting Blue Brook Pavilion at least meant that, beyond saving face, you could still block the boss from coming back. But going head-to-head with the Jia dynasty, that was pure spite against their hypocrisy, tossing aside any real profit just to settle the score first. By now, the major guilds had mostly wrapped up their own solo runs, so butting into this boss fight would have been a bit awkward. Now, seeing these 2 guilds going at it, with Blue Creek Pavilion steadily kiting the boss further and further away, they couldn't help but start to get ideas. But the moment they made a move, the Blue Creek Pavilion members, now snapping back to attention, blocked their path.
Nobody move!
Nobody move!
This matter must be settled today.
You lured the boss away and then tell us not to move. What's there to figure out?
The guild players were all furious.
The boss is gone. What business is it of yours? By the agreement, do you even qualify to go up?
Someone stepped forward from the Blue Creek Pavilion, and the crowd saw it was none other than their guild leader, Spring Intent Old. There's no way they ran here from the main city that fast. But if they used a teleportation scroll, that was a different story entirely. Both sides were in chaos, and Spring Intent was too hard-pressed to defend himself. But the Poison Fang Swamp was at least a little cleaner. It was just the 8 guilds. The arena, on the other hand, had the 8 guilds plus a whole lot of spectators. Chun Yi Lao figured he might as well tidy things up here first, so he decisively teleported back, only to find the scene had already devolved to this point.
Maintaining order at the scene was the agreed-upon duty. And now your Blue Brook Guild goes back on your word, luring away the boss and then forbidding us from stopping you. Do you really take us all for fools?
You're not stupid, but Blue Creek Pavilion isn't full of idiots either. Anyone who actually thinks we pulled this off, they've got crap for brains.
The men of Blue Creek Pavilion had suffered a grave injustice today, so how could Spring Intent Old be in any mood to speak politely? After getting hit with back-to-back first clears by Samsara and the boss, Blue Creek Pavilion was down to a handful of stragglers. But now, every last one of them had their weapons drawn and formation set, radiating the same unyielding spirit as Samsara Guild.
Still putting on a show? The three who took the boss were wearing your Blue Brook Guild tags, plain as day for anyone to see.
Someone called out.
Does a title really prove someone's from Blue Creek Pavilion? Is this your first day playing Glory? That's so childish.
That man was immediately met with Chun Yi Lao's sharp retort, leaving him momentarily speechless. Sure, if you're going to frame someone, you might as well go all the way. It's not like it's impossible. Among these guilds, who doesn't have a few accounts with the Blue Creek Pavilion tag?
I swear on my honor, Blue Creek Guild had nothing to do with this, and I doubt any guild here would stoop so low. Someone else is pulling the strings.
You say it's not you, but who's to say this isn't some scheme of Blue Creek Pavilion?
Chun Yi Lao said.
As a level 65 boss, pulling a scheme like this that ruins your own reputation, think about it rationally. Is it really worth it?
Some still questioned it, but Chun Yi Lao immediately shot back with his own doubts, and the players fell into another stretch of silence. These players were the guild's elite core. They understood the logic well enough. Spring Rain had already made it back, and the other guild leaders weren't far behind. Some had even arrived before him. But now, as the defeated side in the arena, their standing was awkward. So after returning, they all kept silent, much like the Jia dynasty before them. All they could do was wait and see how things played out.